when you have a sense of self, and so you have self-worth, you know who you are, you have intellect and emotional mastery, you will know of people who have the same, and then you'll know of those who don't. So for the people who it grows harder to love, they don't know a sense of self yet. It's because to have love grow harder means you have expectations, means you don't know what it means to be a self, means you don't understand how people have lives. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to think when I've met smart women, men, and days, intellectually and emotionally, it's very straightforward what courtship and true love are. So you don't just, do one thing and then actively believe that that is courtship. You also don't do the thing where you get reactive if somebody asks you questions. There's a way that those who have a sense of self, and that involves healthy self worth, they talk to each other. So they don't use stereotypes, they don't use words that are unnecessary. I mean, we do use words to introduce each other, right? So, hey, I'm Maria. I'm a 5D mystic. Hey, guess what? I'm a solo poly. What about you? And while people use these as identifiers, you'll notice when they're doing that, some of us were introducing ourselves so that we can begin to engage since it's a new time and era. So yeah, that's really fun for the mystics, might I add. We don't have a bad time. It's actively interesting to find out eventually that you have people who don't know how to tell you how to not be involved in their circles of friends, but then you say, I think that it's a good idea if I don't come and be involved in the circle of your friends. Okay, so that's why healthy self-worth people, we know how to make sure, I'm going to leave. That way I don't have to be bothered with bothering any of you. Okay, and so with that being said, when we meet those who expand, it is very straightforward because they expand along with us. When we meet those who don't know how to expand, well, they present to you equations, which are limited, narrow pieces of consciousness. So again, the presentation of limitation involves using words as if I'm supposed to now, with that list, do something specific, like keep you in the box versus continue to ask more questions. So now that you told me about this stuff, so I'm curious, how do you handle this? How do you handle that? And what about this topic? And what about that topic? Okay, so hopefully you're getting the grasp. At IHP here, we talk intellectually, emotionally, and mentally. It's all about our thoughts, and our feelings are not irrefutable facts. So we have no chips on the shoulder over here. We also get to tease people who are actively using big words in an effort to cancel and block each other, and basically don't ever get to be courting each other and have fun. Does anybody remember those notes? Did you have the notes that you had passed each other? I like you, put the box, right? Okay, so once again, for me, it's gotten more fun because whether you're a Cusco or a Pacha, no, I'll know which one you are. But I'm going to have fun either way because we're enjoying ourselves. Plus, as I noticed, I didn't explain effectively, I think, in the one that we just had on the awe of courtship. So when I say I have a good gut, it's not because I know everything. It's because my gut is alerted instinctively if you're someone I'm going to expand consciousness with or not. My gut knows if you are a potential expanding left brain and right brain or not. I'm just going to make it straightforward. And if your left is not working to expand with subject matters of intellectual interest, which vary, I will notice that as soon as we begin to exchange thoughts. And again, the heart needs to expand too. Why? Because that energy body. So while our body ages, the energy body doesn't. You actively get younger. Did you notice how Sadhguru is chirpy? So true enlightenment, still age group human beings, yeah, they don't get boring and flatlined. They actively are in more of the flow state. So join IHP so that we can have those lovely functional adult romantic relationships. We'll find each other, we'll have intellectual and emotional fun, and we won't be doing any of our human species is going backwards, and it's getting harder to love, and we need to keep a man or keep a woman. And we also don't do the let's get rid of 3D or 4D. I mean, they're here for a reason. The medieval times, they don't want to stop believing in what they believe in. It's okay. We don't need them to stop, right? I mean, it's like the flat earthers. They actively involve themselves in sciences. I'm just saying. Okay, so we have fun. That's the whole point. No chips on the shoulder. Nobody's going backwards. That actively doesn't happen. Not with the Fibonacci ring. So courtship has not died. Not with the healthy self-worth men, women, and theys. Intelligence has not died. Not with the 5D collective. The only people who don't know how to use their active brain are the same ones who say that polyamory overestimate the usage of. No, that's not true, but they do make me laugh in my lovely asshole as I hear these academics continuously, some of them, not all, the ones who know are high potential. Yes, those are the ones that are here with us, the successful people who stay away from the negative people because they have a problem for every solution. They're like an Eeyore. And I mean, I love Eeyore. I love everything, though. But yeah, you know, the doomsday, they need Patrick Teahan. Okay, so again, the beauty of love is it sticks around, doesn't go away. We don't have cutting cords. We don't have stages or, you know, excruciatingly hurtful stuff with sadness or anger or disgust or happiness or surprise or fear. Fear is the more uncomfortable of them all, for me at least, but that is for me because, you know, I'm good with everything else. And so being vulnerable, you know how some people, they go to tear real. They don't want to be vulnerable in relationships. And they go to other therapists. So they say, I don't want to be vulnerable with my life partner. I'm thinking, huh? L-I-F. Did you just say that's a life partner and you don't want to do what? You don't want to cry, get angry, surprise, disgusted. You don't want to have fun. You're telling me you want to hide yourself from them. All of what you're living inside. You don't want to bring it into the picture. I don't understand. That doesn't make sense. Why are you at the therapist again? I'm so sorry. My bad. I forgot. You don't want to be vulnerable because from home, you didn't get to have a twin and a mom and a dad and or your child said, I forgot Diego's family. Forgive me. But when are you going to start at the very least? I mean, monoamory couples, you would think they're not even polyamory. They'll have one human being and they don't want to cry in front of the therapist. So I want to, again, be very much open-minded to all, but here is where IHP is at. We heal one person at a time, trauma, bring it in, love, team. Jesus, thank you. Pretty sure Jesus showed and shared with us, like Sadhguru is. It's easy to court, and it's easy to know who's the one, by the way. It's also easy to know when they don't agree with you. That's why it's not heartbreaking. I mean, it's heartbreaking, but not your heart doesn't break. The people who need the good therapist because of their lenses, that's a whole different story. Again, at IHP, we do self-help, spiritual, and true spirituality is that life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self. I forgot to mention that in our other episode, but you're going to hear me say it so many times that by the time I'm done, you're going to be like, okay, Maria, we got it. Okay, so self-help is for people who want to do emotions, thoughts. Love is for people who want to do emotions and thoughts, not the ones who treat each other like, what was it? Contempt, disgust after fucking each other, and then shame. Those are all people, they're on an active shame cycle wheel. With good therapy, they can disengage from what is not love. It's a visceral, simple, it's like there's a whole bunch of movies that make it look cool. Yeah, that's not cool. It would be a lot cooler if all people would understand we can't keep blaming Lucifer for the trauma that has been brought about by our ancestors living one with the force in animals and being scared to death in darkness. And I'm not kidding right now. His evolutionary psychology will tell you why we have shame. When you got kicked out of the herd, see, I didn't fear inadequacy because I was never alone. In the womb, I had a twin. I'm born, I have a twin. I almost got killed because I had the umbilical cord. I still didn't die. And we tease about that one because I talk like the Energizer battery, which is why if you don't like talking, well, I don't do silence, not at all, not with a life partner. Yeah, that I don't do silence. I also don't do dumb, D-U-M-B. Yeah, means you don't need to give me stereotypes, gender, any of them. You want to watch me begin to have a blank stare? I'm going to begin right now because as soon as I hear that word gender stereotype, it reminds me of something. Any person, here, let me tell you a story about courtship. So this human being, beautiful human being, I stayed with them and they with me for 4 years. And this is the same human being as they're breaking up with me. I thought you had changed. And I'm like, huh? You didn't meet me. I think you don't know Maria. So I don't change. I'm more of myself. And so, anyways, I love the man, but we're getting ready to go somewhere and meet what are ignorant human beings. Because, see, closed minded human beings, I'm ignorant. I'm willfully ignorant about a lot of things. I don't know geography. I'm not able to understand spaces. I'll be okay with looking stupid because I can be stupid. Don't bring me to a place where I have to be around what I'm going to consider ignorant human beings. And so I get told before we're about to leave the house, and I'm getting told, okay, remember, don't talk about the stuff you usually talk about, which was basically saying, don't be Maria tonight, please. And I turn around and I say, huh? I'm pretty sure we had a very big discussion because that's what I do with my life partners. Yeah, they're not going to get away with anything. And that's the part. You can't have well, he's Italian. So any Italian knows how to have a nice, passionate, and he's from my same area. So that's why it's like totally cool. As we passionately exchange 2 cents while I'm like, you know what? I'm only coming because I have to. Don't invite me anymore. And don't tell me not to talk about things I want to talk about. And of course, as usual, people know how to say, but, let me explain. Yeah, you keep explaining. I'm only coming because now I have to. Don't invite me again. I'm not coming unless I really, really have to. But it really, really needs to be a, super special job where because I'm with you, I have to present myself in an effort to socially do that right thing, right? Okay, so long story short, yeah, you do make sacrifices when you love people. It's called, okay, I'll see stupid people and not talk at all and just stare and look pretty. Let me look pretty today, shall I? What should I talk about? And it's not because of being a woman, by the way. You could be a man and sit, yes, actively. Remember my empowered man friend? Yes, he actively has to sit and look pretty too. So this is why at IHP, we don't do the let's use big words for gender stereotypes or any of that stuff that people are using. We just say, you know what? Times have not changed, but they have changed because we get to use new words. Then we get to realize what true love is. It's always the same stuff. People who stick around. Then people can have arguments and say, fine. I love you the same, but I won't be coming necessarily to that place or that place or that place, but we can go to those places. And that's what negotiation is. It's I'm not going to change me and you're not going to change you. And we're going to know how to tango and the passionate dances of the Italians, the southern ones. Don't talk to me about the north. I have a very, very active bias towards that. I have one human being friend from there. All the others, they migrated, I think is the word. Yes, and anytime they come back and act like they are not from here, I tease them like any other person from the South. So now you're too good for us, huh? And that's how it works. Hopefully, at one point, humanity will move beyond this in and out group. But at this moment in time, apparently, even in Italy, there's this thing that some of the Northerners are wanting to do to divide it up. And, it's really, we are in the midst of change. And then again, it always feels the same. But that Fibonacci, remember the infinity spiral? And yeah, the Fibonacci one. So life is never exactly the same, which is why people say you always change. Like, well, not if you're keeping up with the expanding consciousness. Raise your hand if you don't feel changed, because the essence of love and life is what you are. And so to keep up with anything that's in the enlightenment vibration, you can't be what the Zen master talks to you about laundry. Nope. You can be with Jesus, who talks to you about love. You can be with Sadhguru, who also talks to you about love. Oh, and you can be with all the smart scientist people who talk to you about smart stuff. So again, I love my friend, and I am pretty certain that there's a lot of people that I find personally ignorant, to say the least. But I'm sure that they find me a lot of other words. Like, let's see, whore, masochist, weirdo. I don't know, because they don't tell you to your face, they'd be pretty rude. Oh, some people are scared of me. I still don't understand that. My brain actively doesn't understand. How can you be scared of a 4'9" woman when I've been told I'm intimidating? I'm like, what? Me? Did you see me? Do you know me? And I'm not smart. I just like to learn things, but I forget pretty quickly. But then again, I also expand pretty quickly. So this is where we're at. IHP, come on over if you do care to move into the Enlightenment Soul Age group. It's really fun. It's not boring. When you see those flatliners, they're flatlined for a reason. They actively have linearity going on. You don't know what their child is doing inside. You say, hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure you got a 0 1 year old in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure he, she, or they wants to come out and play. If only you learn to regulate your nervous system and not call your emotional stuff laundry and actively do vulnerability. You know what's beautiful, by the way, about all jokes aside, I like to joke, but what is beautiful about love is that who doesn't want to share the essence of love and life that you are with another person? It's the most amazing of things to get to know each other and then to be gifted what is depth and consistency. That's very important, and appreciation. And appreciation, though, comes from you being able to appreciate another person for who and how they are. You know what is beautiful about learning? Well, everything is beautiful, but no, no, no. Suffering is not beautiful. Everything is beautiful because you can expand from it. Let me conclude my sentence. And so when you can find anywhere you turn something good, you're always expanding. That's why you don't stop. You don't stop. There's a song that was coming, but I missed it. Long story short, though, it's how it feels to be on the blissful and on the wise path to enlightenment and on the Jesus path. Again, no suffering in this way of excruciating pain. He did the suffering. We're doing the loving, or at least that's what I comprehended and understood. I understand people would consistently stay within suffering. You know how I identified a lot of my clairs? Yes. So now it's a special human being, and they don't know a lot of things. They won't ever know, but I know. And so, with that being said, I was trying to get somewhere. When you're mesmerized by life, you court yourself, number one. You enjoy people, number two. You don't enjoy ignorant people. They're boring, number three. But you understand, because again, I'm sure I'm boring to people who don't like to do any of the mesmerizing of all these beautiful topics. But there is something I was trying to get to, y'all, but I got lost in my lovely moment of bliss. Love. It's one of a kind, and when you're always expanding, the thing is the different chemistry that you create with people, it doesn't ever leave you. So there's that quote, Maya Angelou, not the one with the shirt. People will forget what you say and what you've done. They won't forget how you've made them feel. So the beauty about being a 5D mystic is that you do feel the energetic imprint of the people that you come to be with. So you know actively, and this is why you'll know a divine feminine when you meet one, because she won't have questions about anything. She'll also know what she doesn't know and why she won't know it, and she doesn't have to be a woman. But I've seen feminines out there. There's not one yet that I've met that has a journey that I can say, okay, there's she is. I've met the masculines. They become divine feminines. You can always tell when a masculine. And there's a story for that one, and it's not impressive. I'm not impressed. Not impressed. And I try not to say that too often because I understand the human suffering thing, but I'm not impressed. So, what I was trying to get to is that love is one of a kind, and every person you meet does gift you that special something. When you are feminine, it means you understand what consciousness is in this form of poetry. And so I call it an energetic imprint, but it's more like a scent of flowers. And so you are an essence of love and life. And if I meet you and I get to exchange what is true appreciation, which means you're open-hearted. If you're pretending, I will know because you'll be pretending. Your heart will be closed, and it's okay because I don't need to know who you are. You don't know who you are, so you can only imagine you're not going to be sharing much with me at all. In fact, that's why when I see the flatlined enlightenment people, I'm like, what the fuck? Who taught you how to be enlightened? I don't know where you got it from, but you're missing a couple and more pieces. But I remember I'm a divine feminine, so I come from that other end of the spectrum, and it's beautiful. That's what love is like. So you would not in any way, shape, or form, and I repeat, never, ever, I mean, I'm only 44, but you don't give up on any of that which is bliss. Why? Why would you ever give up on something so beautiful? Especially when the only reason people do is because of those who don't know how to bring it to you. You will always remember how people make you feel because we're feeling based. Go tell that to a teenager. I don't have feelings. No, they don't rule me. Really? Let's see. Poke. You're emotional just like any other poke again. No, no. Let me try over here. Yeah, poke. So FYI, I actually didn't have proof for this thing, but then I got attachment trauma informed. The brain stem, your first 3 years of life. I found it hard to believe, Maria, that my attachment. Yes, 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 yes. Ciao, Cusco. I'll see you later, alligator. I'm going to go court myself somewhere. I'm going to have fun with universe. And on that note, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a fun new moon because this is all it was a prompt, a last minute thing. I said I'm going to give them a little bit more on the love front because it's too beautiful not to give them something when the new moon's about to come. There's some surprise for you. Some of y'all, the 5D collective, don't get me. The 4D, they're still on that Elsa journey. My gosh. I just heard all about their other heartbreak, and they're always going through some heartbreak, and they're always going through DNA. I'm so happy that I'm here for you 5D mystics. Believe me, I started to notice their pattern. I'm like, wait a minute. They said this last year. Hold on. They said it last year again. You know what? It sounds like you're repeating yourselves. I think somebody has a broken record. DNA upgrade. Now there's again, we're the chosen ones, 144,000. That's true ascension. And you know, something told me when I was in the still midst of everything, I was like, you know what? I'm going to bet you that those people prior to me, they feel like I do now. And I was like, yeah, probably that's true. And that is true. So if you're not following, it's okay. Come back tomorrow for some more voices stories from your very woo-woo spiritual pseudoscience lady. Remember, it's for real, not pretend. And then we do true spiritual self-help because we want to do emotions. Not, I don't want to do it. I want life now. Everyone's fucked up. Nobody's fucked up. The beauty of romance. You need to know what love is before you can do any kind of romance. It means you need to know how to stick around. It means always, not just sometimes. And then it means you need to know how to have a conversation. And then it means you need to know how to rupture, repair, and do the whole. So my lovely, you can ask. Maybe one day I'd say, hey, you want to come and get interviewed and tell them how I was as a girlfriend? Because we all know how I was. I remember how I was. I also remember having to fight every evening as I waited for 2 to 3 to 4 hours. You know how I learned how not to be punctual? Because the Neapolitans, yeah. And so they tease me, my American friends. And I say, look, I used to be punctual. I got to realize that there's no point as I waited for people evening after evening after evening after evening after evening. Oh, and so in a very short amount of time, I learned how to consistently argue with someone about why are you always late? I don't understand. How do you always have an excuse for being, this is not something that I can understand. And so that's the beauty of relationships. See, there's no boxing gloves. It's always a fun time for those of us who love. And that's why then we stay friends. And we don't like those words exes. And people still want to use them. So sometimes we have to use them. But it doesn't do justice to what a relationship is. So tune on back in if you enjoyed. Thank you again. Have a great one.